Welcome to another season of Peralta Matters. I am your host, Jay Calhoun. Today we'll be speaking with the presidents of our 4 community colleges here at the Peralta Community College District. So, sit back, relax, and let's get into what matters here at Peralta.
I'm Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Join me in watching Peralta TV.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. We are now joined by new Merritt President, Dr. Ambriz-Galaviz, correct?
That's correct.
Outstanding.
Very good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Let's talk about your trajectory to Merritt College. We talked a little bit off camera about where you're from, and we all know that you're a Northern California kid.
Right.
So, how'd you get to Merritt College?
Well, it truly has been a long journey, over 30 years.
Right on.
I've been in community colleges. I started as a student at Hartnell Community College in Salinas. And after graduating and going through all my studies, secured a job as a counselor at Hartnell. I got to go back to my alma mater. But that started my career in community colleges. Okay. And I had an opportunity for the first 12, 15 years to work as a counselor, program director, financial aid director, dean of counseling.
So you've seen it all, boss.
In that side.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you know, life happens with the finances, and the district does reorganizations and so forth. So I went to the other side of the house, which was teaching, instruction. And I spent another 15 years or so on that side teaching. I was a professor of psychology.
Don't pick my brain.
And quickly then started again on the administrative track, being a dean of the social science division. And my last position was the vice president of instruction at Mission College in Santa Clara. Outstanding.
So, Santa Clara, what's the atmosphere at junior college like out there?
Well, definitely a lot of the signs where the economy was improving, a little bit ahead of the rest of us here in this area. So we had the advantage of trying to prepare and discover how do we get the students back interested in school. Because when the economy is down, students do come back to school. So since the things were getting better, we started losing our student enrollment. So here I come to Merritt, and we're having the same challenges all of a sudden. So we are definitely interested in making sure our community knows about the benefits that Merritt has to offer, and that's what my focus is going to be about.
Excellent. You are newly into the position, a matter of weeks, so to speak.
Yeah, just finished my 4th week.
Outstanding.
Still very much delighted with being at the college itself, getting to know a lot of the staff, a lot of the programs, the rich history. Interesting enough of how Merritt ended up being in the Oakland Hills, having come from the flatlands, as they say, or downtown Oakland to the hills. And what it has to offer. It really is a hidden jewel that people do not recognize what's available over at the district itself, I think. And that's, again, important for us to acknowledge to the community that we have a very comprehensive community college to have students from its community be able to get training in careers or transfer to the universities. It's affordable, and you know they're very service oriented. We have a lot of infrastructure items that we're trying to address because of the reductions, but we're going to be there. We're going to be there in order for the community, I think, in a short while to recognize this as really the college of choice.
I like it.
It really will be.
I like it. Talk a little bit about your overall goals for Merritt, and then your personal goals as a president now.
Well, I think I started addressing that when I mentioned that it's important for the college, one, to get out in the community, to start making sure that if students are not coming to the college up to the hill, that we go down to the flatlands and let them know that we have the facilities, but if we need to come to the community and offer our classes there, we're open to do that. But we need to start communicating with our community partners, from business to our secondary, as well as higher ed. We have a couple universities, as you know, that we have established partnerships. So I think it's improving that communication internally within the college as well as externally, in order for people really to recognize what's available in their back door. Personally, I see the opportunity to get to know each and every stakeholder in the community that is interested.
I like that term.
And benefiting from our services. And everybody comes in with a different interest, and I think we can arrive at a mutual agreement as to how students will be served. Because again, I have to emphasize, the one thing that's been very notable is that students do come first there. And when I started noticing that they would refer to making a difference in student lives, that's what they try to practice, is making that difference in students.
And it's so much needed, so much needed. Dr. Ambriz-Galaviz, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Same here.
Outstanding.
Thank you again.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Peralta Matters. We are now joined by Dr. Jackson of College of Alameda. How are you?
I'm doing well,
Good,
thank you.
Good. Welcome back to the show.
You're welcome.
Let's talk a little bit, for those who don't know, about your tenure, so to speak, at College of Alameda as the president.
Thank you. I've been there since 2000, well, really since 2004 as the vice president, and then for the last 2 years, I've been the actual president, interim president, and then I was confirmed as the permanent president last year.
Excellent.
So thank you.
You're welcome. And your confirmation in your first year, how's it been?
You know, it's everything that I thought it would be and more. It's a huge responsibility being the president, because the buck stops here. And I like absolutely believe that, especially with my background in the military. But it isn't just me. You know, sometimes you think you're the Lone Ranger and you're responsible for everything. So what I've had to learn is that you've got to share the wealth and assign people responsibility, let them do it. If they don't meet those expectations, you kind of guide, manage, coax, and sometimes threaten, which you don't want to do. You never want to get to that point. So I try to stay on the other side of that line to make sure that things are moving smoothly. But we've been doing great, especially with the passage of Prop 30, and then Measure B, the voters, the parcel tax initiative, has given us a little bit more freedom than we had the previous 5 years.
Just a little bit of breathing room.
A little bit of breathing room, but still we have to decide what are our strategic goals and where do we want to lead the institution.
Speaking of that, we were talking a little off camera about the College of Alameda ABCs.
Absolutely.
Would you please enlighten our viewers?
Well, one of the things when I took over as the president, I wanted to establish some clear guidance for the institution as we go through and make those hard decisions on what to cut, what not to cut, and now what to re-implement or reinstitute. And so I came up with what at the time, I didn't really think of them as ABCs, but I presented them in the areas of academic excellence, budgetary competence, because we have to be able to maintain our budget, and then community collaboration. And when I presented it to the college community, they said, Dr. J, those are ABCs. And I said, you know, that means that they're the right thing to do. So we use that as a litmus test for all of our programming, for our budgeting, for our implementation of new programs. Does it fall within those parameters, and also does it fit our mission and our vision and our values? So we've come up with a new program. I came up with a new program last year out of meeting with students, meeting with faculty. We had a retreat. We looked at positive deviant theory, which means that you have the decision-making ability within your own composite knowledge to come up with the answers. You don't need an outside consultant.
Yes.
You don't need someone coming in looking at your institution. And out of that, we created the Alameda Promise, which means that if you align with what the Student Success Initiative says, that was passed last year, that students get orientation, that students get assessed, that students get placed, and that students develop an educational plan. And if students take more than 12 units or 12 units or more, they have a greater capacity to be successful. If students do all of those things, we guarantee, this is our promise, and they maintain a C average in those classes. That's the other key component. Then we guarantee in 2 years you will be able to transfer if you follow that model. Now, you may have to take some summer school, you know, to offset that. I'm not saying 4 semesters, but in 2 years, if you follow the guidance, we will make sure that those classes are there for you to graduate. And that's what our promise is.
Now, in some respects, we know the importance of registering early and getting your classes on. Explain to the viewers why that's so key and so paramount to guaranteeing a student a place or a rightful place to get their education.
Our students tend to historically register late. When you register late, that means you've missed the first week of school. Sometimes it can go up into the 3rd week of school. And if your class is meeting on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you've missed 6 class units. So you miss that orientation where the teacher tells you what the expectations are. You miss those first 2 or 3 assignments. So you're already behind the 8 ball. And if you're a student, our traditional student, which is what we're aiming at. We're not aiming at the students that could go to Cal or to although those tend to be the students who register first and they get the classes. We're saying if you go through these steps, we guarantee that you will get registered in the class that you need. The other component of that is we found in research that learning communities where students come in as a cohort are much more successful than a student just walking in, especially if it's a first-time student and just taking a class. They don't know anyone, they don't know the system, they don't know the terminology, they don't know how to maneuver and navigate the system. So that orientation and that kind of group collective knowledge says, well, how come you didn't show up for class last week? You know, we missed you, or things going okay, or let's get together as a study group because we have that big test coming up next week. That is what helps students to be successful. So we can't force students, so we can incentivize students so that they follow the right path to success.
I love it. I love it. You're doing a great job over there.
Thank you.
Continue with the ABCs of College of Alameda.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We were just talking to Dr. Jackson at College of Alameda. We'll be right back with Peralta Matters.
I'm a veteran, and I was looking into some of the trades. Signing up for classes at College of Alameda was really easy because you have the online stuff, and then the administration building was really helpful. The VA department, speaking with the dean, it was really easy to just get all the paperwork done and get going in the class. It's an easy transition from the military in Iraq to coming into here.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. We are now joined by Berkeley City College President, Dr. Budd. Dr. Budd, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Again, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk first about the fact that you are now newly appointed and confirmed President of Berkeley City College. How's that been for you?
Fantastic. You know, having lived in the area for 25 years and worked in the district for 6, I am thrilled to be working at Berkeley City College and serving as a president and working with the wonderful faculty and staff and students and helping us achieve our mission.
Yeah. Now that we are freshly, you know, getting underway in our new year, tell me a little bit about what Berkeley City College has planned.
Well, Berkeley City College, you know, being an urban campus, it is always so vibrant. We actually just had a wonderful activity today at lunch, and we had our Club Rush, and just walking around, seeing the students and the vibrancy that they bring to the campus. We have many missions as community colleges, and certainly in Peralta and Berkeley City College. Certainly our vision and mission is to transform students' lives.
I like that.
And we have some incredible CTE, Career Tech Ed programs with our multimedia and our health services professional, as well as our American Sign Language. We have an incredible transfer program.
Right.
I don't know if everyone knows, of the 112 community colleges in the state, Berkeley City College is number 2 in the percent of students that transfer to UC Berkeley.
Right on.
And number 4 in the percent of college of the 4 in Northern California. You know, Davis, Santa Cruz, UC Berkeley, as well as Merced. So we're really proud of the work that our faculty do, our staff does to help our students be successful. And our goal is to continue and even improve the transfer rates among all groups of our students.
Since you are a seasoned Peralta vet, so to speak, what would you say is your personal and Peralta approach to this new position at BCC?
Well, I said the other day in a meeting, I said, you know, 5 years ago when I was serving there as a vice president, when I would go down in the line of admissions or records to help out students, they would ask a question, they'd be like, huh, I could answer like 1 in 5. And I said, now after my experience, I feel like I could really answer almost every question or know exactly who to go to. And I think that's a huge piece that we're working on service within the college and helping everyone know that don't be afraid to ask people for help. And if they don't know the answer, to ask others. It's creating that caring, learning environment that people want to come to work and students want to come to the campus.
What can you say you've seen in effect since you've been at Berkeley City College, as far as, you know, an implementation of the multimedia classes are extremely great at Berkeley City College, and you talked about the CTEs. Have you seen some of those programs actually boost or somewhat raise the enrollment?
Well, I think people are learning more in the community about the courses that we have and seeing the success of our students. One thing we're really working on is, because of our proximity in Berkeley, you know, we have 1 block away is Berkeley High School, and a block away is UC Berkeley, is working with the mayor with the Vision 2020 and really helping that transfer and helping make it a seamless process from the students from the high school to Berkeley City College and then UC Berkeley. And some of that has really come with conversations with faculty of how we do with assessment, how we could help the students come in for their first year experience and really virtually hit the ground running, be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and be successful.
Talk a little bit about, we kind of talked off camera about the energy and the vibe once you walk into the campus. What has been your personal experience with that?
Well, you know, having it be a new campus, we moved in 2006, I think everyone enjoys coming to the campus. Having new full-time faculty be hired has been really helpful. We have excellent full-time faculty and staff and excellent, you know, part-time faculty, people working in the field. I think that's something that's helped the campus always be on the cutting edge. Having the additional full-time faculty to be available for students, for clubs and different office hours, and just to go to as mentors has been really helpful, and we're looking forward to that expanding.
Outstanding. Not to jump ahead of ourselves, but what would Dr. Budd's vision for the future be for Berkeley City College?
Well, every year we work within our shared governance groups looking at our goals and accomplishments that have happened the previous year and what our goals will be for the upcoming year with our objectives. And, you know, really certainly student success, access, and equity, really helping, you know, all groups transfer, ideally at the same rate, helping underrepresented students be successful through a variety of different programs we can offer. Expanding our biotech program. We have some incredible grants. We have a serum grant. We have a TAA grant through the Department of Labor that's going to really help with stepping stones to science and really help those pathways from the local schools, the middle schools to high schools, with transferring to CSUs and UCs. Certainly we're hoping to continue to expand our international student population. You know, being in Berkeley, people have that vibrancy. You know, you walk out to have lunch and, you know, our Berkeley City College students are right there having conversations with UC Berkeley students. We offer classes up on the UC Berkeley campus. And so students get the feel of wow, this is really similar to Berkeley City College. I can be successful in community college and move on to a 4-year institution. Continuing to partner with local industry and businesses. You know, we've got some very innovative corporations in the area, and really looking how we can help with mentoring programs and partnering with those businesses.
Outstanding.
And really just working with our student success, making sure that students know where they can go for help, that our faculty are there to help the students and find different ways to help with accelerated programs. Berkeley City College actually is becoming known across the state for some of our excellent English programs and ESL. People talk about it being accelerated, but it's really just ensuring learning matters and helping the students do a portfolio, so once they meet that criteria, they can complete their college level English class.
Outstanding. Well, I want to congratulate you again for putting the community back in community colleges. We were just joined by Dr. Budd, president of Berkeley City College. We'll be right back in a few moments with Peralta Matters.
BCC is awesome. Other colleges that I've been at, it's more like students keep to themselves. You're in class and then out. But at Berkeley, you know, you make friends and people who want to help you. It's a collaborative experience. If it's something that you really want to do, then you should definitely come check us out.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. I am your host, Jay Calhoun. We are now joined by Laney College President, Dr. Webb. How are you?
I am well, Jay. How are you?
Oh, I'm pleasant. Thanks for coming back on the show.
It's good to see you again.
Good, good. Let's talk first about your tenure at Laney College.
Yes.
It has been a wonderful ride. Would you like to expound on it for a moment?
Wow, it's been an exceptional ride.
Please.
We are lucky we live in an extraordinary town, Oakland, in the greater East Bay. And I have been blessed and lucky to be at what we call the epicenter of the East Bay, Laney College,
Right on.
and a part of this wonderful district, Peralta, serving so many different individuals. So my ride has been a roller coaster. And I used to love roller coasters when I was a little tomboy. Get me on, even if I had food. Oh my goodness. And it's been a roller coaster, meaning that we, as a team of folks, different individuals, diverse individuals with different levels of expertise and interest, came together as faculty, classified staff, administrators, and student leaders in partnership with businesses, industries, community-based organizations, elected officials, and others, community activists, and said, how do we move this college from where it was, with pockets of excellence, where across the institution there'd be widespread excellence. So the ride has been bumpy, has been welcomed, has been challenging, has been a trip, and yet at the same time, consistently we see slow, and in some areas, a ratcheting up of progress.
You talked a little bit about the community partnership.
Yes.
And one of the themes I've been kind of writing this whole episode has been putting the community back in community college.
You got it.
Talk a little bit about your steps to that.
Well, that's why I am working in community colleges. I have been lucky. I've worked in higher education for 35 years. I started out in universities. I've worked for the UC system, the CSU system, Stanford University, and then I said, okay, I love this, yet there's something missing. When I went to Stanford, it was really to bring the community onto the campus, and I had a lovely ride there. And as things changed and we had to begin some downsizing, my technical expertise were used in other areas. I said, no. I went to community. So I'm at Laney because of the community. So what have we done? We've taken some were fledgling programs, and programs that under normal circumstances you would say just eliminate. We said no, we're going to invest in welding, we're going to invest in machining, we're going to invest in what was then HVAC, heating, air conditioning, refrigeration. We're going to invest in all of our career technical education programs, and we're going to see how far we can go. Well, where do we go? Last fall, we got honored by being part of a regional effort supported by the Department of Labor because of our manufacturing education initiative at Laney College. Going from fledgling to considered to be a hub of manufacturing education in the area of industrial manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, including biomanufacturing, medical device technology, working in partnership with UC Berkeley. What do? We also looked at our HVAC and said, let's revamp this. And in fact, let's work with the state-of-the-art institutions, including the Lawrence Berkeley Berkeley National Labs, which we did. And we moved from where we were 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and especially 8 years ago, to where we now have up-to-date curriculum, new certificate programs, new degree programs in partnership with four-year institutions, and we are no longer HVAC, which is important. We are now environmental control technology. We're no longer a fledgling program. We're now a national center for the National Science Foundation. And that's thanks to leadership of dean, of faculty, of our partners who are scientists and engineers with local institutions, and we're off and running.
So let's talk a little bit now about the future as you see it for Laney College.
Laney College in the future, in the not too distant future, will be considered a destination point on the planet because of our rather integrated strategic priorities. Already we decided about 3 years ago that we will be a hub as it relates to arts and design in the broadest sense because of the nature of how Oakland has positioned itself with among the highest concentration of artists in the country. And how we're moving towards really a more spectacular sense of design, designing communities, designing buildings and infrastructure, so that it's not only practical and efficient, which we'll talk about in a second, but also aesthetically pleasing, inviting, where it changes the mood and the predispositions of individuals to engage more in collaborative and respectful and honorable ways. And in fact, I was just at a Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce meeting this morning, and one of our architects, leading architects in the community, was talking about these fascinating designs with that purpose in mind. So the arts and design arena. And then we move from there to clean energy and sustainability. Thus, our efforts across all of our CTE programs, from the construction trades to, for that matter, culinary arts. Looking at how we can encourage people to understand more the science, and then the practical, applying some of the content, the knowledge, in real serious ways, so that we lead to transforming the nature of our environment, such that not only am I able to live a healthier life because of the structures and the way I function, and I function in relationship to you and others, I'm able to do it in such a way that can be sustained. So it's clean energy and sustainability. And a third area is our learning communities. We envision our college more than just simply a place where people come and they acquire knowledge, they develop skills, and they leave with marketable certificates and degrees to transfer to a four-year institution to secure a meaningful, life-sustaining career position. It's more than that. It's really about understanding not how to survive, not how to just get by. It's understanding how to design one's life and be part of the solutions that we're seeking. I appreciate that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dr. Webb, it's always a pleasure. We need more time.
Likewise.
Thanks for coming on the show. Pleasure.
It's a pleasure, likewise.
We just spoke with Dr. Elnora Webb, president of Laney College. We'll be back in a moment with Peralta Matters.
All aboard!
Thank you for watching Peralta Matters, and I also want to thank our college presidents for their time and energy. Until the next episode, please do something that matters.
Peralta TV, programs that matter.